Oh, sorry, it was not just you. I was muted. So the whole intro, everything I've done until now, I've just been talking to myself. um, yeah, so I had some other content planned for tonight, but when it was announced that Willie Mays had passed at the age of 93, yeah, you know what? I feel like it's a rite of passage. I've just now done my first muted episode. So uh last week I got to do my first raid, and then I got to do my first raid into Alf, and then today I did my first muted stream. So thank you for helping with that, Max. I appreciate it. But yeah, so I thought it would also be a good way to show how quickly you can just like come up with an idea and turn it into a simulation in the base game. It's super simple. It is only limited by what your imagination can come up with. And so what I thought I'd do is take three or four of the peak Willie Mays seasons, and there are a lot of good ones to choose from, and and pull a version from Willie Mays into 2023. Put them on the Mets because so as a Mets fan, I know this. I think most Mets fans know this. I don't know if every Willie Mays or Giants or baseball fan knows this, but Willie Mays ended his career with the Mets, and not just a few years, like not just 1 year. I think it was a couple of years. It was before my time, but it was one of the things that I remember learning as a Mets fan and thinking was really cool. So it's not just a gratuitous adding of Willie Mays to the Mets. Like it has some historical context. So let me pull up Baseball Reference. And as with most of my sims, we have to pick out which seasons we want to use. And with Willie Mays, it is no easy feat because he had lots of really great seasons, to no one's surprise. And also, we need his player ID, which is up in the URL. So that's the first thing I'll grab. So for Willie Mays, it's going to be Mays WI01. And it's almost always the first five letters of the last name and the first two of the first. But if the person you're looking for doesn't have five letters, then it's just their full last name and then the first two letters of their first. Okay, so I've copied that and I'm going to add that to a fresh notepad. And let me share the notepad. So I'm just going to paste it in here. Oh, sorry. For some reason, that didn't copy. Let me try that again. There we go. Okay. And then we're just going to add the year between these commas, and then we're going to add them. Um, I'm not going to change the name of the team this time, so we're just going to add them to the Mets. And I just know that in OOTP the abbreviation is NYM. And I think let's just grab four versions of him. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it three more times. Whoops. And we'll just enter in the years once we get them. So I know he won a couple of MVPs. It might be even three. There are two that I know for sure. So we'll probably grab this 1954 year and then this 1965 year. So I think the question is like, what are the other years to grab? Max says 65 for sure. Yeah, I mean, complete agreement with that. So, and then this 54 is his first MVP. And it's crazy that he did this at 23 years old. Um, so he won the Rookie of the Year at 51, had a shortened 52 and didn't play 53 because of military service, and then returns to the game to just crush it. 345 average, 667 slugging, 1078 OPS. Um, yeah, just an amazing season. So definitely this 54 and definitely the 65. So let's actually just go ahead and add those in right now. And the the benefit of using this text file is it's just so easy to just, especially when you're doing multiple versions of one player, it's really just super easy to do this and fill it in. All right, so I think we'll grab a couple more. Now, normally, let me go back to this. Normally, these last three letters would be FTM for franchise time machine because we would rename a team that, but we're just going to leave it the Mets and we're just going to put them in there. So Max is lobbying for 58 or 62. See if that matches what I was thinking. 58 and 62. Yeah, I like both of those. The one I was thinking was also 55. It's the it's one of the times that he led the league in home runs, which he didn't do in his first MVP season. And it's I think it's his second highest OPS season. So 55 works too. But I want to take a look at 58 and 62 also. Yeah, this 58 was also on my short list. I liked also that, if we're going to kind of use MVPs as gauge, this was one year where he finished second in MVP voting. The other one being the 62 year, which you also called out. So I'm good with either of those two, or even maybe both. Um, so Max, if you had to pick between 58 or 62, which one would you take? 'Cause I'm thinking I'm gonna add 55, and then 58 and 62 were also on my short list, so I'm fine with either one of those. I'm wondering which one you would grab. 62. All right, so we'll go 54, 55, 62, 65. I like it. All right, so 1955 and then 1962. Great. Okay, now I'm going to just save this as a 2 years in his 30s and 2 years in his 20s. Perfect. I like that logic to it. I like it. So I'm going to save this. We'll call it Willie Mays. Okay, so now that's ready to go. It's saved as a TXT file, which is what the game's going to be looking for. So now let's pull up. Did my game crash? What happened here? Oh, hold on. I'm trying to. My game screen is all black for some reason, but I can see the game. So what is happening here? Hold on, bear with me. Something's up with my. Hold on. Let me. Okay, I've got to. Sorry, I've got to create a new source. For some reason, it lost my game screen. So let me just add that back in. We're doing it live. Okay, let's see. All right, that looks like it's working. Although for some reason I'm not catching the edge of it. Okay, here we go. We're set. So we're going to create a new game. We're going to do 1923. That's when I've been doing all of the kind of current day Sims instead of a new game in 2024. I'm going to turn off expansion. All right, we're going to call this Willie Mays. Okay. All right, while it sets that up, I had an idea to do something and I just totally spaced on it. So, yeah. What was I going to do? Oh, yeah. I was going to pull up what the Mets actually did last year, just as a comparison. So 75 and 87. That's kind of our starting point. Now, I'm going to let the AI do the roster changes. So I'm also wondering who they're going to cut to make room for the Willie Mazes. Yeah, the Mets existed. That's about all you can say for them last year. And considering their payroll, that is a lot of money to just exist. So, yeah, sorry, I was just looking at this to pull up their record. And then I may reference the roster to try to figure out who the AI cuts to get the make room for the four Willie Mazes we're going to bring in. I'm assuming that the AI is smart enough to start Willie Mays in all three outfield spots and then maybe also a DH. So we're going to manage the Mets. Yeah, I was thinking today about um, why it is that when certain people pass, like it kind of fits, even though you don't know them personally. Um, I know for a lot of people, like when musicians or like performers pass away, like they seem to take it especially hard, even though again, like they didn't know them in their personal life at all. Um, and I was thinking with ball players, I think part of it is like what's great about the game is that there's this thread all the way from Abner Doubleday to today, right? And you can just go ball player and just trace your way there. And that's like part of what makes this game great, this out of the park baseball game great, is you can pull these players from all across time and they're still relevant. Like you put them in the same field, they can play the same game. And I think Willie Mays like was like one of those linchpins that just connected all these generations. And so like for him to be gone just seems like a huge hole in the game. And not to mention like by all accounts he seemed like an amazing human being too. Um so anyway, let's go ahead and set this up. I'm going to use my checklist. I still reference this all the time. Even though I've done this a bunch of times here. So, historic transactions off, injuries off, all star popularity off. Oh, this will be cool. We can see how many Willie Mays can make it into the all star game. Yeah, this is awesome. I think this is going to be fun. So, let's go ahead and. We don't have to set up the team for a change because we're just putting into an existing Mets franchise. But I am going to want to turn injuries off. And under league settings and options, I'm going to turn the importance of popularity in the All Star vote to none. Because as famous as Willie Mays was, I'll show you too in editor, or actually just in his profile. When you bring people in from across time, even if it's Willie Mays, their popularity goes to zero by default. And I do not want pitchers winning the MVP because they have the Cy Young Award, and so I'm going to turn that off. Okay, I think we're ready to go. So we're not normally. The other thing I have is this checklist for importing. So you want to build your roster, which we did. That's that text file with the four Willie Mays IDs and the seasons. Start your season, which we just did. We're going to import and edit our players. Justice and sim. But the other thing is for importing, normally we would prepare our destination. That usually means deleting everyone from the roster. We're going to keep everybody. So I think um, what will happen is when we go to the roster after the import, all of our max betting on Daniel Vogelbach getting cut. Let's see. I don't know. It depends on how much of a power I entity the AI is. Um, but yeah, so what'll happen is initially it won't go in the active roster since it's full. It'll go in this reserve roster. So the Willie Mazes will be here. And then what we can do is we can tell the AI to make organizational decisions, and it'll change the rosters. So normally, if you're in the pitching window like this or the lineup window, you can push it to make lineup decisions or pitching decisions. You can also make organizational decisions. So that's what we'll do. If they want to keep a true two outcome player, he walks, doesn't he? Does he not walk? I thought he walks. I thought he's a three true outcome person. Let's see. Yeah, look at that eye. Look at that beautiful 65 eye. He's a three true outcome guy. No one notices. All right, let's see. I'm going to keep an eye on him though. Well, it'll be interesting to see who gets cut. Um, I wonder if it'll be readily apparent. Well, actually, let's make our bets. Let's see who we think. I think Pham is gone. Um, I mean, the outfielders are the easy suspects, right? It's interesting. It's not starting Marte, so he might be gone. I mean, it might just be a clean sweep of the outfielders. If I as a Mariners fan, you've seen this. Pham and Kana, yeah. I'll be. I'm more curious to see between Nimmo and Marte if the AI keeps either or both of them. Excuse me. All right. So let's go ahead and do this import. This is the first time since I've learned all this stuff over the past few weeks on how to do these things better. This is the first time I'm going to be importing players into a full roster. So we'll see how this goes. Um, wait a second. Did I not do this in commissioner mode? Did I forget to do commissioner mode? I might have. All right, Max, you got to go get some sleep. All right, man. Have a good night. Thanks for the raid, and I'll see you. I'm going to check your stream out tomorrow, so I'll see you on there as I figure out what I did wrong. Okay, this is something I usually set up at the beginning, so now I'm going to have to learn how do I turn on commissioner mode. I did not go into commissioner mode. Okay, thank you, Max. That's what I did wrong there. That's why this is a good lesson. This is why when I'm in the free agent window, normally it'd be in this top right corner here, it would say actions, and then I'd have the option of creating a player, importing a player. So now I have to figure out, because I don't want to create a new game if I don't have to. There's almost certainly a way I can make myself. Oh, here we go. Commissioner mode. I am now in commissioner mode and I cannot be fired. All right, now that that's done, if I go back here to sign a free agent, there's the football that I'm looking for. Actions, import historical players, historical database ODB. All right, good night, man. Thanks for the help. And then click here to select file. And this is that Willie Mays file. We're going to pull in those 4 Willie Mays. All right. So one click, 4 players. So I just did these steps. Actions, import historical database, and then instead of entering the player IDs, we just uploaded the text file. It's going to chew on that for a little bit. The good thing is it only chews on it for only a little bit more time than it would if we're importing one player at a time. Um, so yeah, it's already done. Historical player import succeeded, 4 players imported. So that's good. That means we didn't make any typos or anything. So it will not have made any roster changes yet. So I'm assuming it's going to go into the reserve here. So we should see 4 versions of Willie Mays. Oh no, it put him. Okay, that's interesting. It added him to the active roster. So now the active roster is 30 out of 26. I guess when you use that import function and the 3-letter abbreviation, it can override that roster limit. So before we have the AI do anything, I'm going to go ahead and rename these so we know which year each one of these Willie Mazes is from. So if you go into editor, you'll see here historical year. So this is the 1962 Willie Mays. And in case you didn't find it on BREF or you're in a roster and want to make note of someone that you want to grab later, in their editor, in this bio page, you can here's their historical ID, which is the same as their BREF ID. But in this case, what I usually do is just add in parentheses, this is the 1962 Willie Mays. So that way in box scores or even like in replays, you know which maze is which one. Okay, so that's one Willie Mays. I'm going to down arrow to go to the next one. And this is the 1955 Willie Mays. Down arrow again to the 1965 Willie Mays. And then this is the 1954. Now, when we go back to the roster, we should be able to see which Willie Mays is which. Okay, I must have messed something up because I only see 2 with years on them. So we'll just go in individually. This is the 1962. It could be that I didn't hit enter. Some of these OOTP fields, if you don't hit enter and then you change the screen, it won't actually record the change. And names tend to do that. So I probably forgot to hit enter. And then 1955. Okay. Okay, so now we know every time we see Willie Mays, we'll know which one it is. Okay, so let's go to lineups. We're not going to change the pitching staff at all, but on the lineups, we're going to say, okay, AI, you set the lineups and the depth charts. So I'm going to say, oh, you know what? Let's go into these Willie Mays. So they may not be rated to play anything but center field, which could be a problem. So yeah, center field, 85 center field. Wow. 80 range, 60 error, 60 arm, and 85 center field. Okay, so if you go under editor, under batting ratings, this is also where the fielding ratings are. Okay, this is not going to be a problem because his underlying outfield range, error, and arm are fine. And the only reason he has no rating in left field or right field is because his experience is set to 0 for those, which means he didn't play those that year. Now, what's going to happen is over the course of the simulation season, the AI is almost certainly going to stick one of the Willie Mays in left and one in right, even though they're rated 0, because their potential ratings are 251 and 220 for left and right, respectively. So as that Willie Mays gets experience, it's going to start ticking up from 0 towards 200, and eventually it'll get to 200 experience, and it'll have a 251 rating in left field. Now, I don't think anyone will have any problem with me saying Willie Mays is an exceptional athlete, a fantastic outfielder. If he can play center field, he can play left and right. So I'm going to give him a little head start. And we'll just start his experience in left at 100. And you can see the rating already went up to 125. And his experience in right field to be 100. Okay, I don't think most people have a problem with me saying if you just threw him in left field for the day, he's going to be fine. And he'll probably still be an exceptional left fielder. But instead of jumping to 200, we'll start it at 100 and let him ramp up. And we'll do that for each version. So we're in the 54 version right now. And I'll do that for the 55 version. Again, it's under batting ratings, and we're just going to give him a little head start on that experience ramp. That's interesting. This version in 1955, his ratings are a little bit lower. So um, instead of the 216 in center field with full experience in 1954, he's a 177, which is still very high, but 216 is God mode in center field. And then at 188 max in 1962, we'll do the same thing in left and right. Where we're going to give him a little head start. And then 1965, he's got a 200 max in center field. Gambercules, hey, welcome to the stream. You're at work today when the news came out Willie Mays. Somehow you knew that he'd be my project for today. Yeah, yeah, I don't know what it is. Some ball players it just hits and some it doesn't quite as much. Um, Same thing when Ted Williams passed. I really felt it, even though again, like I don't know these people at all in person. I just know them from watching sports and being a fan. Um, but yeah, I definitely I switched everything today to do something Willie Mays related. Um, so yeah, so we're gonna give him a little head start in left and a little head start in right. Again, I have no problem doing this because you can see his max rating in 244 is going to be in left field is going to be 244. The AI can see that. The AI would just start him out there at a zero experience. And we know if you put Willie Mays in left field, he's not going to be a bumbling fool in left field. He's still going to be a great fielder. But instead of 200, we'll do 100. We'll split the difference. Um, yeah, so then we're all set. Okay. So now it will be really interesting to see who the AI cuts to make room for these Willie Mazes. I'm hoping that asking the AI or the bench coach to make the lineups and depth charts, it will make 4 cuts to get it back down to a 26-man roster. Okay, it looks like it did not. We're still carrying. We're still carrying 30. Okay, so is there? Okay, here it is. When you're in the roster mode or page, you can go to actions and ask AI to set up complete team lineups, etc. So this should make 4 cuts. So I'm going to click it and see what happens. Do you want AI to set up your entire organization? So it would also do minor leagues and everything. For some reason, I don't think we have minor leagues here, even though I put import minor leagues. But yeah, so it made the cuts to get us down to choices. Oh my goodness. What? Okay. Already, we haven't even started playing, and here's an example of AI is going to AI. The AI has taken the 1955 Willie Mays and sent it to the reserve. So that gives you an idea of the AI in this game sometimes. And this is a 5-star 1955. Here, let's go back to the BREF, and we will pull up the 1955 Willie Mays stats, and let's look at what the AI decided is not worthy of being on the active roster of the 2023 New York Mets. This is the season. This is the version of Willie Mays that the AI sent to the reserves. 1059 OPS, fourth in All-Star voting, fourth in MVP voting, led the league in triples with 13, led the league in home runs with 51, led the league in slugging at 659, led the league in OPS and OPS plus and total bases. And the AI said, no thanks. So we're going to fix that. We are not leaving that 1955 Willie Mays to languish on the reserve. So the question is, where do you put it? So, as expected, the AI filled the outfield with Willie Mays. And that's what I'm decided to go with. I'm going to go with Willie Mays. And so to make room for one more Willie Mays, we've got to make one more cut. And let's see who did the AI cut. Okay, Tommy Pham as expected. Oh, you know what? I bet we can find it under. So I don't know if you know this. Your team history, or your log. I think it's under logs. Has a transactions log. So it should show us who we cut. Oh, you know what? We learned this last time. It only shows up if the player leaves the team. So it would have to like release them to show up on here. It doesn't show internal transactions. So yeah, bummer. We learned that during the Who is Pablo Reyes episode when we're trying to figure out when the AI added all these players to our all rookie team. Okay, so I guess who does it have in DH? Because I'm assuming that fourth Willie Mays will go in the DH spot. Oh, it is Daniel Vogelbach and Mark Canha. So Canha's the one who we're going to cut. I like having Vogelbach on the team as a backup first baseman, um, as an extra left-handed bat, especially since we probably remove some left-handed bats by bringing in these Willie Mazes. I think we have to keep Vogelbach, so I think Mark Canha is going to be the casualty here. So, but he should be honored. He is getting replaced by a 1955 Willie Mays. Who's this 3.5 star player here? Oh, Nimmo. Nimmo got cut too. All right. So sorry, Mark Canha, you're gone. And 1955 Willie Mays, welcome to the team. All right. Now, instead of making the organizational changes, I'm going to have it do lineups. And now I'm assuming it's going to insert that fourth 1955 Willie Mays into a DH spot. I sure hope so. Yeah. Interesting too. It put all of them at the top of the lineup. So the 55 it put in a right field. It moved the 62 Willie Mays into the DH spot and put all four of them at the top of the lineup, which that's going to be a nightmare lineup for anyone facing us. Um, I think maybe there's something to be said for kind of peppering them throughout the lineup a little bit more, but I also like the idea of just like hitting opponents with a wall of Willie Mazes right off the bat. So, okay, this is already pretty fun. Um, so let's see what happens. I think I got to make sure I do these game setting changes. We don't. Oh, sorry. I think I made all these changes already. The All-Star game is like the canary in the coal mine. Yes, I did that. Okay. So then we just need to make sure we're not interrupted during Sims. So I go over this every time, but just for anyone who's seeing this for the first time. I used to use the do not disturb, but the do not disturb lets the AI make lineup changes, which you don't want. So we're going to do a de facto do not disturb by unchecking all the exit autoplay options. So now the human is in control of everything still. Okay, and then I'm going to simplify the mailbox a little bit. Really, I just want to make sure we get All-Star Game notifications and major award notifications. Okay, so with that, we're ready to go. We'll sim the first game and then watch the highlights. Depending on how fun that is, maybe we'll do one or two of those, and then we'll sim the season while looking at the standings. Okay, so this first simming the first day, even though there's no games, this is where all the league setup or the season setup stuff happens. So it's going to take a little bit of time. So Hercules, if you're still around, do you have a guess on how many wins this Mets team gets? The original 2023 Mets won 75 games, but now we've added four Hall of Fame caliber Willie Mazes, four peak Willie Mazes. I'm assuming it's going to be enough to get us into the playoffs. I don't know if it's good enough to get us deep into the postseason because it's still the Mets and it's still the Mets pitching staff. It's still, I mean, let's look at this 2023 Mets pitching staff. Well, you know what though? I do have injuries turned off. So Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander, they'll pitch the entire season. So that will help. The bullpen's probably still going to get rocked, and we don't have a lot of depth in the rotation still. But I mean, come on, we got four Willie Mazes. That's got to be worth. That's got to be worth 20 wins, right? But I don't know if it's worth a playoff run. But we'll find out. Okay, so I'm going to guess. Well, I did say it's probably worth at least 20 wins. Well, it's got to be more than that, right? Each one of these has to have a WAR of more than five. We added four Willie Mazes, so I'm gonna say 100 wins. We're gonna pick up 25 extra wins, 100 wins. But because of our pitching, I don't think we're gonna make it to the World Series. That's gonna be my guess. So we'll see how close it is. Hercules is gonna go for 89 wins, so an improvement of plus 14. Do you think we make the playoffs, and do you think we make it anywhere in the playoffs? I'm going to say max we make it to the NLCS, but I don't think we make it to the World Series. I'm just super pessimistic about the pitching. Into the CS and lose is your guess too. Okay, all right. I think we're on the same page. I'm a little more optimistic on the win side, but I think we're on the same page in the playoff run. All right, so let's sim this first game. I am really curious to see these. You know what? Hide scores so we don't see that. I might actually do quick play, but instead of highlights, I might go batter by batter for the first, at least for the first half inning, because I want to see what these four Willie Mazes do. All right, so we'll quick play and let's watch replay. You highlight reel, you might just skip past that first inning. I don't know enough about camera angles here, so I'm just going to leave them as the default. I should have paid more attention to Doctor of Dynastics streams where he gets really into these and he's real particular about which ones he chooses. Maybe I'll go watch one of his VODs and learn how to do this a little bit better. But my stream is mostly about like creating these weird rosters and lineups and less about the actual watching the replays. But maybe that'll change as I do want to start watching more first and second games to see what happens. All right, so here we are leading off with the 1954 Willie Mays. And we're in Miami, so starting the season on the road. Jesus Luzardo on the mound. So already we have a left-hander thrown into four right-handed Willie Mazes. Oh, and the first one goes down looking. I was not expecting that. On a 1-2 count, goes down looking. All right, 1962 Willie Mays. And a line out to first. All right, come on, 1955 Willie Mays. This is the one that we rescued from the reserve roster. And he rewards us with a base hit up the middle. Now, I have not messed with any of the sliders, so it's whatever I think the default for this Mets team was. So we'll be curious to see if the AI sends Willie Mays at all on the base pass. And then 1965 Willie Mays with Francisco Lindor on deck. Pickoff attempt at first. Looks like he's back in. Another pickoff attempt. So these are current day rules, right? So he's done. Those are his two throws to first. Oh, okay. This is interesting. I am making note of this. There were three pickoff attempts. in 2023. I don't think that's supposed to be allowed to happen. So I'm gonna ask around in the forums to see if that rule hasn't been implemented in 2023. Oh, and another strikeout looking. I was so psyched about having four. Completely says that rule never made into the game as far as you know. Okay, all right, that would make sense then. I was so excited about having this wall of four Willie Mazes to start the game, and we get one single and two strikeouts, including leaving a runner stranded. Not what I was looking forward to. Okay, but this this is cool. I'm gonna screenshot this. This is great. The outfield of Mays, Mays, and Mays. That's awesome. Okay, I am actually gonna watch this inning just in case there's a fly ball to the outfield. Nope, strikeout looking. So this is an uninjurable Max Scherzer. So maybe I can be a little more optimistic. Oh, come on, Willie Mays! Makes the catch in center field. Great. The play-by-play says Mays 1954 races back. Mays 1965 also after it, but Mays 1954 has a beat on it and hauls it in. All right. I wouldn't mind seeing another couple fly balls like that. Ground out to first, or maybe see one of the Willie Mazes make a throw. All right, so we're back up. I kind of want to skip to more Willie Mays action, but let's just scoot through this and see what happens. Shallow fly out to center. Pete Alonso. Ground out to first. Oh, bobbled by the pitcher covering first. So Alonso's on first on the error, and Vientos comes to bat. And he walks. Oh, we might get some Willie Mays action this inning. That brings up Guillorme, first and second with one out. All right, well, wasn't a typical Mets double play there, so at least we're still alive. If Gary Sanchez can do anything here, we can get to another Willie Mays at bat. Oh, pitch gets away. Second and third now. 3-2 count. Oh, and he goes down looking. Man, our team is not getting the bats off their shoulders. That's three strikeouts looking so far this game. And we're only in the second inning. All right, let's see some more Mays outfield action. Strikeout swinging. Ground ball to second. I think that's Guillorme making the play to first. And 2 outs, 2-2 count. A weak ground ball to pitcher, and bobbled at first. It says the throw is off the mark, so it was actually an error on Scherzer. So the inning continues. Brian De La Cruz is at bat now with Hampton on first. Pickoff attempt to first. Another pickoff attempt. And a strikeout swinging. Man, this uninjurable Max Scherzer is having a game. All right, back to the top of the lineup for the four Willie Mazes. Oh, that's a shot into the gap. Extra bases for sure. It's rolling around out there. Could be a triple. 1954 Willie Mays led the league in triples. All right, they hold him to second, but that brings up the 1962 Willie Mays. The 1-1 count. Oh, that's deep. That could be gone. And it is out of here. So a double and a home run by two Willie Mazes. And the Mets are up 2-0. 1955 Willie Mays comes to bat. Starting right fielder. And there's a deep shot into the right center field gap. And that is going to be gone for back-to-back home runs. This is what I was expecting in the first inning. Took him a little while to warm up, I guess. The cleanup hitter, the left field, playing 1965 Willie Mays. And this is going to fall into right field. Did our Willie Mays just go 4 for 4? I think maybe they did. Yeah, double, home run, single. Ooh, they almost went for the cycle. It's more than the cycle because it's single, double, and instead of a triple home run, it's home run, home run. Oh, that's awesome. A more than cycle by the top of the order for Willie Mazes. All right, so that brings up Francisco Lindor with our 65 Willie Mays on first. And he goes down looking. Pete Alonso comes up to bat now, and he is going to pop out. And Mark Vientos with 2 outs. And that's going to drop into right field for another single. So we got first and third for Guillorme. That 65 Willie Mays can scoot. He got all the way around to third on a shallow single to right field. All right, so all 3 runs come courtesy of Willie Mays. I'm going to just, well, I was going to sit in the half inning, but I want to see Willie Mays make plays in the outfield. Nothing he can do there as the single drops just over the top of the glove of the second baseman. So runner in first for Nick Fortes. And that's going to be a pop up to the infield for 1 out. All right. Jazz Chisholm Jr. now with a 1-0 count with 1 out. And that's going to go through the gap in the right side of the infield. Runner's going for third. Here's the throw from Willie Mays in right field. Not in time. All right. First and third now with 1 out. And this is a shallow fly ball to left field. We might see the runner tag and the throw from Willie Mays. I can't tell from the camera work. Did they score? No. Willie Mays 1965 holds the runner at third. They must have been afraid of the arm. Let's see. Let me see what that arm rating is for this 1965 Willie Mays. Oh, wait. How can I see? I thought there's a way to see. Can I not do it in game? Oh, because I'm doing replay. I'm not doing. If you're actually playing the game, you can go into your lineups and stuff. But since this is a replay, I guess I can't do that. I want to see what his arm was that held that runner at third. All right, 2 away, bottom of the third. Trying to maintain the shutout here. Runner stealing, and he's in at second. At least they didn't throw it away. That'd be a very Metsy thing to do. And here's a fly ball to right field. Looks like an easy catch for Willie Mays. Willie Mays 55 in right field. So yeah, between the 4 Willie Mazes, they span 11 years. So even within the Willie Mazes, we got some diversity here. Yeah, I think Max is the one who pointed out we have two Willie Mazes in their 20s and 2 in their 30s. All right, Gary Sanchez, bottom of the order. Then we'll be back around to the Mazes next. All right, so the Mazes will be coming up with 1 out. See if they can repeat their performance from the previous inning. The leadoff hitter, center fielder 1954 for the Mays, goes down looking. This is looking more like the first inning again. 62 Willie Mays in the DH spot. And he drops one into right field right in front of the right fielder. So runner first with 2 outs for the 1955 Willie Mays. Oh, and it's booted by the shortstop. So now it's first and second. And that brings up the 1965 Willie Mays playing left field and batting cleanup. And that's in the right field, but I don't think it's going to be much trouble for the right fielder there. That's an easy fly out. And we strand 2 Willie Mazes. So 3-0 going into the bottom of the fourth. Walks the leadoff hitter. Strikes out the second hitter of the inning. And now we're against the 6-hole hitter. Another strikeout looking, so 2 outs with a runner on first, an 0-1 count. It's a ground ball to second, and makes the throw to first. So Scherzer working on a two-hitter, and that brings up Francisco Lindor. Strikes out looking. And it's a ground ball to short, and he's thrown out. That brings up Mark Vientos for the Mets. Bottom of the order here, 7, 8, 9 spots. And he strikes out. All right, so the Marlins are up now at the bottom of the fifth, still down 3-0. We have as many runs as errors so far in this game. 3-1 count with 1 out here, and he walks the batter. That brings up the top of the order, Jazz Chisholm Jr. Strikeout looking. And with 2 out, there's another single to center field. Runners rounding second and is in safe at third. Wow, from the animation there, it looked like the throw was closer than that, but the runner's in standing. You would think you'd slide against the Willie Mays throw, but he just kind of strolled right in there. And here's a grounder back to the mound, and the throw's in time at first. Okay, so they strand two. Mets are back up in the top of the sixth. The 8-9 hitter, so we'll be back up to a Willie Mays again at the end of the before the end of the inning. Strikeout swinging for Guillorme, and that brings up the 9-hole hitter Gary Sanchez, and he strikes out looking. Man, we have a power-packed right-handed lineup here against this lefty starter, and we've only managed 3 runs so far, all courtesy of Willie Mays. And a ground ball up the middle for a single. So Willie Mays, 1954, gets on base again. And it brings up Willie Mays, 1962, in the DH spot. As a grounder back up to the mound and out at first to end the inning. Okay, we've got the cleanup hitter leading off for the Marlins, and then when the Mets come to bat again, we'll have the 3 and 4 hole hitting Willie Mays is from 54 and 55 and 65. And that's a walk. Not that we want to start an inning. I remember hearing some crazy stat look at like the percentage of leadoff walks that end up scoring, and it's super high. And Scherzer's already struck out 8. We're in the 6th inning. He's already got 8 strikeouts. Garrett Hampson comes to bat, and he lifts one to center field. That's going to drop. Runners rounding second, and he holds up. No doubt discouraged or dissuaded by the arm of center fielder 1954 Willie Mays. Okay, first and second for Brian De La Cruz. 1 out, 1-2 count. We've got Brooks Raley in the game now in relief for Scherzer, and it looks like they're going to turn 2 to end the inning. It's a 5-4-3 double play to get him out of trouble in the 6th. All right, here comes Willie Mays, 55. He's the 3-hole hitter leading off here in the top of the 7th. And that's going to be, snagged by the second baseman. Line drive, snagged by Arraez. All right, Willie Mays, 1965. He's the cleanup hitter, batting with no one on, 1 out, and 1-2 count. And he goes down swinging. It's been a very mixed game for the Mazes. They all came together in the third, but it's been not so great otherwise. That's a line drive down the line into right field. Lindor's going to get multiple bases on this one. And looks like he held it second. So Pete Alonso now 2 outs. Runner on second, 2-2 count. 2s everywhere this at bat. And at least he gets wood on the ball, but it's going to be a fly out to right field. At least he didn't go down on a strikeout. All right, Garrett Cooper leading off the bottom of the 7th for Miami. Still got a 3-0 lead here for the Mets, but it's now in the hands of the bullpen, which is not encouraging. Okay, it's a ground out to first. We got 1 out here in the 7th. Ground ball to second for another out. And full count to Jazz Chisholm Jr. And he goes, oh, he walks. All right. And Tyler McGill came into the game at some point here. Yeah, with the DH, the pitchers change, and I don't notice sometimes. And that's going to be a wild pitcher pass ball. Gets past Sanchez. So I don't know about this particular season, but I know in perfect team, Sanchez has a strong arm, but not much framing or blocking ability. So that one got past him. And there's a lazy line drive to shortstop, and Lindor snags that to end the inning. All right, we've got 7, 8, 9. So if anyone can get on base, we'll see another Willie Mays come to bat here in the top of the eighth. And that is a line drive to the shortstop. There comes Guillerme with one out and a 1-2 count. And he goes down swinging. And Gary Sanchez. And he goes down looking. Oh, interesting to see the box score. I think there have been a lot of strikeouts on both sides this game. All right, bottom of the eighth, and we've got in the top of the ninth, we're going to have the top of the order. So the Willie Mays will be coming back up. All right, ground out to short. Now with one out and a 2-0 count. Solera grounds the ball down to third base, and the throw is in time for an out. 2 outs for Jesus Sanchez, no one on. He grounds the ball down to Alonso, who flips to the pitcher for the out. All right, here we go. Top of the order, Willie Mays. Willie Mays at bat, Willie Mays on deck, Willie Mays on the hole in the hole. Okay, 54 Willie Mays. And he's going to ground out to second base. The 62 Willie Mays in the DH position. He strikes out swinging. And the 3-hole hitting Willie Mays 1955. He hits one past the third baseman in the left field. And that'll be a single. So we'll run around first for the 1965 Willie Mays. Throw over to first, not in time. And our cleanup Willie Mays just flies up to center field. All right. Bottom of the ninth, trying to protect the 3-0 lead. David Robertson comes into the game to close it out. Strikeout looking. Brian Delacruz now with one out. And dribbles one back to the pitcher's mound for an out. And Garrett Cooper. He'll be the last hope here for the Miami Marlins. And he grounds out to first, unassisted. Pete Alonso. All right. Well, the Willie Mays teamed up to contribute the only 3 runs of the game. All right, so I can unhide the scores here. Check out the box score. So a lot of strikeouts on both sides. Well, I'm actually not that Scherzer threw 8 and Robertson added a ninth. Um, well, the Marlins threw a bunch of strikeouts. They threw looks like 15 strikeouts against the Mets. So yeah, there were quite a bit on that side at least. Luzardo takes the loss despite only giving up 3 runs in 5 innings and striking out 9. Those 2 home runs really hurt him. And then Scherzer goes 5 and a third to get the win, scatters 3 hits, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts. And who was the player of the game? Max Scherzer. He beats out the Willie Mazes for player of the game. Who had the most total bases here? Willie Mays, 1955, had 6 total bases. All right, so the first one is in the books. Uh, actually, you know what? It felt like they weren't doing much, but I was completely wrong. Willie Mays 1954 went 2 for 5. 62 went 2 for 5. 55 went 3 for 5. And 65 went 1 for 5 and left four on base. I think it was just leaving so many on base like made it feel worse than it actually was, but they actually hit really well. Okay. I do kind of want to watch one more. So let's go back to scores page. Actually, let's do this from the standings page and finish the day. Okay. So we're keeping pace with the Phillies and the Braves. All right, I'm going to take a water break real quick. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, and I'm back. Sorry about that. I also took a minute to I forgot to post on Discord that I was going on live with this stream, so I put that up too. Okay, so I would like to do highlights of one more game. So we did play by play of one game. I'd like to do highlights of another one, and then maybe just sim out the season. But I enjoyed watching the Willie Mays play, so I'm going to do a little bit more of this. All right. So we have game two against the Marlins in Miami. I'll turn the scores off again. And if you've seen other streamers do highlights of games and stuff, all you have to do is hide scores, and then you play the game, and then you can watch highlights or play by play, just like you see on Twitch. All right, this time we'll do highlight reel. This will see all the Willie Mays plays, but it'll skip ahead to whatever plays it deems relevant. Usually it's things like scoring opportunities, runners in scoring position. I notice it also tends to jump ahead to like double plays and diving plays in the outfield. So, okay, so for example, here, starting us off in the first inning with one out, full count with the 62 Willie Mays on third and the three-hole hitting 1955 Willie Mays at the plate. And that's a line drive in the left field. That's going to score Willie Mays, and Willie Mays is going to round first but stay at first for a single. So that's a run scoring single with one out. And okay, so here's what happened. The sim has now, or the highlight reel has skipped now to the top of the second inning. So we didn't score again in that first inning, but we're now threatened again with the top of the second, Mark Vientos on second base, and the 8-hole hitting Luis Guillorme at bat. And that's going to find its way through the infield for a single. And it looks like it's going to score. Yep, it does score Vientos. So we're up 2-0, still with one out. Full count now to Gary Sanchez with Willie Mays 54 on deck. And that is a deep fly ball to right field. It might have enough distance, and it is gone. So a 2-run shot by Gary Sanchez makes it 4-0. We're just going to skip ahead to the top of the fourth. Again, we're missing Willie Mays at bat, so they must not be doing much this game so far. So Vientos leading off the top of the fourth with a high fly ball in the left field, and it looks like that one is gone too. So the power coming from the bottom of the lineup tonight. Vientos and Sanchez with home runs each. All right, now we're talking. One run in, still no outs. Runners at first and second for the leadoff hitter Willie Mays, 1954. And that's a deep fly ball into the gap in left center field, and that is gone. 3-run shot by Willie Mays, 1954. Okay, we're skipping ahead to the bottom of the eighth with 2 outs. There's no one on base, and Jazz Chisholm Jr. is at bat. And that is a deep fly ball to left field, and that is gone. Home run by the Marlins cuts the lead to 8-1. And that's it for the bottom of the eighth. So we go to the top of the ninth with 1 out, 2-2 count to the cleanup hitting Willie Mays, 1965, playing left field. And that's a deep fly ball left field, and that too is gone. 379 feet for Willie Mays, 1965. And we go to the bottom of the ninth with no out and a runner on first, Jorge Soler. And he goes deep to right field, and that is, at the wall, but gone. 366 feet. Oh, man, this Mets bullpen, even with 4 Willie Mazes. The lead's cut to 6, 9-3, with 2 outs, 1-2 count, no one on base for Brian De La Cruz, facing Carlos Carrasco out of the bullpen. And he goes down swinging. And the Mets win another one. All right, I want to see this box score. Yeah, you know what? The Willie Masons are still putting in the work. 2 for 5, top of the order. 3 for 5 for 1962 Willie Mays. 1 for 5 for 1955, and then 1 for 1965. So I think each Willie Mays has gotten hit in the first 2 games. That bodes well. Verlander goes 8 innings, scatters 5 hits and 2 runs, 2 earned, with a walk and 6 strikeouts. And we had too big of a lead for Carrasco to get the save, but he came in to finish the game. Player of the game was Justin Verlander. Okay. Let's now go to the standings page, and let's go ahead and sim a season, or sim a month. Oh, we were at the end of March. So it simmed a month, and it just took us to the next day. All right, we're going to sim April now. Now, if you look to the right, you'll see in yellow if any Mets are in the league leaders, and I'm assuming, yeah, there's a bunch of Willie Mays stuff in the stat sheet there. Okay, after the first month, we've achieved some milestones. Justin Verlander earned career win 250. A 13-game run streak by the 1954 Willie Mays. I believe that's the leadoff Willie Mays. Justin Verlander wins Pitcher of the Month, and Willie Mays 1954 wins Batter of the Month. We had a team 9-game winning streak. Willie Mays 1954 was Player of the Week. We had a 9-game run streak and another 9-game run streak by the 65 and 55 Willie Mayses. And again, leadoff hitter 1954 Willie Mays had a 4-game home run streak. So off to a nice start. Let's see record-wise, how are we doing? We're the top of the NL East, 21-8. But to their credit, the unaltered Philadelphia Phillies are 20-9, just 1 game behind. So even though we added four Willie Mazes, the Phillies are right on our heels. We do have the most wins in the majors and the highest win percentage. So we'll see if we can keep up that pace as we sim the next month. Yeah, we're bouncing back and forth with the Phillies. Now we're building up a lead over the Phillies. 31 game on base streak by Francisco Lindor. That's nice work. Okay, we are at the end of May with 41 and 16 record, 719 win percentage. Best record and win percentage in baseball. And we have now pulled ahead of the Phillies and the Braves now, who are in second place by 7 games. Okay, so at this point, we usually just sim to the All Star team announcements. The Mazes are leading the league in home runs. The top three, at least, home run hitters are Willie Mazes. Highest All Star vote getter, Willie Mays, 1954, which is our leadoff Willie Mays. Rookie of the month is Kodai Senga, and two consecutive pinch hit home runs. Wow, by Daniel Vogelbach. I'll have to tell Max LP80 about that. He wanted Vogelbach. He wanted the cuts for Willie Mays. All right. I would actually swear that's an achievement I haven't seen before. That's a good one. It's a fun one. Two consecutive pinch hit home runs. All right. 61 and 29 record, most wins in the majors. Tied with the unaltered Tampa Bay Rays with 61 wins. But we're two ahead of them in the loss column at 61 and 29. All right. Let's go check out the All-Star voting. And All-Star voting. So in the infield, where we don't have anyone new, Francisco Lindor leads in the shortstop votes. But what we want to check out is the outfield and the DH. So left field, Willie Mays has over 1 million votes ahead of the second place vote getter, Marcelo Zuna. In center field, our 1954 Willie Mays, as mentioned earlier, was the leading vote getter of all the positions. And then in right field, our 1955 Willie Mays over 1 million votes ahead of Ronald Acuna Jr. And at DH, wow, Bryce Harper has more votes than Willie Mays right now. So, what kind of season is Bryce Harper having? 306 average, 12 home runs, 37 RBI. Looks like a 909 OPS. Well, that's pretty good. What's our Willie Mays doing? 1962 Willie Mays, 22 home runs. Oh, a little bit down on average though, so I guess that gave the edge to Harper. And then starting pitching, the uninjurable Justin Verlander is the top vote getter there. And no one in the top five in relievers. Okay, I'm going to copy this and grab it as a screenshot, or you paste it into a Word to a text document. And let's check out the All-Star rosters. This is where we might have players added. So there's Verlander. And then there's Lindor, got in by votes. Left fielder Willie Mays voted in. Center fielder Willie Mays voted in. Right fielder Willie Mays voted in. And I'm assuming this is the DH Willie Mays has been added. So six Mets, four of them Willie Mays have made the All-Star team. So let me grab that. Okay, and now let's go check out some All-Star festivities. Finish today. Home run challenge. Well, we have three Willie Maces in the home run challenge, so this will be fun. Let's finish the round. Oh, and only one of our three Willie Mays advance. Christian Walker takes out 1954 Willie Mays, who was a leading vote getter, 9-8. Aaron Judge takes out our 1955 Willie Mays, 11-10. And our 1965 Willie Mays, despite only hitting 7 in round one, manages to advance. All right, let's do the next round. And the Willie Mazes are out of it. Brandon Belt gets 12 over our Willie Mazes 11. And then Christian Walker outslugs Aaron Judge 12 to 8. So it's Christian Walker, Brandon Belt in the final. And Christian Walker gets the win. All right, let me screenshot this. This is always a fun little event, especially when your team has a participant or two, or in this case, three. All right, so I got that screenshot. Now let's advance to the All-Star game and see how our players doing it. Oh no, I didn't mean to sim it. I didn't mean to play it. I just want to skip. I got to go to scores. I just wanted to quick play it. So the AL wins 4-1, and the top performances are Connor Joe for the NL, 1-for-1 with a home run. That's our lone run there. Uh, Yadi Diaz, 1-for-2 with a home run, 2 RBIs and a run. And then Taylor Walls with 1-for-3 with another home run. So let's check the box score, see if any of our players made it in. 54 Willie Mays went 1-for-2. Let's see who else. 65 Willie Mays went 0-for-2. 54 Willie Mays went 0-for-2. And 62 Willie Mays got as a pinch hitter and went 0-for-1. So combined, they went 0-for-7. They're just saving it for the regular season, I guess, and the playoffs. NL pitching. Okay, so pretty poor performance by our Mets in Gabrickly. He's got a vet appointment for the dog in 10 minutes. Going to watch the rest of this later. Thanks for doing this stream with Willie. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for joining. Hope the vet appointment goes well. I don't know how your dog is. Ours is actually pretty chill about going to the vet, so it's not too bad. But hopefully yours doesn't get too anxious going to the vet. And yeah, appreciate you watching it later. Thanks, man. And thanks for joining us. Have a good rest of your day. All right, so I think let's just go back to the simming. Go to standings, and let's check out the rest of July. Yeah, that lead now is expanding to double digits. And an RBI streak, 7-game RBI streak for Willie Mays. And we are 73 wins. We have pulled ahead of the Tampa Bay Rays for the best record in baseball. And we have a 689 win percentage. And we have 73 wins in through July. So let's sim through to the roster expansion date in September. Okay, another achievement here. We've got 9 consecutive hits, not 9 consecutive games with hits, 9 consecutive hits by Willie Mays, 1965. And I'm sure as part of that, 12 consecutive on base streak by Willie Mays, 1965. That'll do wonders for your batting average and on base percentage. So we are at 95 wins, knocking on the door of 100 wins, and it's just September 1st. And we haven't even played September 1st yet. So we're on track for a pretty good season here. So let's see how we do with 4 Willie Mazes down the rest of the home stretch. Our magic number is 13, by the way. The lowest in the major. Oh, no. Tampa Bay has a 10 magic number by virtue of being 19 and a half games ahead of the Orioles, despite having, I guess it looks like they're about 9 games behind us. But, AL, NL, completely different stories. All right, so let's sim to the end of the regular season at this point. Lots of yellow text on the right-hand column there. So we're leading in batting average, home runs, RBI, OPS, and batter war. All three, the top three are all Willie Mays's. All right, a 6-game home run streak by Willie Mays. I think the record is 8 by Dale Long. The only reason I know that was because Don Mattingly had a similar streak, and so I remember just hearing about that every day it was happening. You know what? A Dale Long card would be interesting. If you want to do a small sample size around his 8-game home run streak. Okay, so at the end of the race, now when you go to the end of the regular season, it hasn't finished the regular season because you'll see we still have 161 wins. But at this point, we've surpassed my prediction of 103 wins, and I think I had the highest prediction, so we've exceeded everyone's expectations. So I guess four Willie Mays can um, make up for terrible Mets bullpen and weak starting rotation. It also helps that our top two starters, Verlander and Scherzer, are immune from injury in this simulation. So, yeah. All right, let's finish out the season. Okay, so here are the season accomplishments or achievements. We have a home run champion in the 1965 Willie Mays. We have a batting champion in the 1954 Willie Mays. The 1962 Willie Mays went 2020, and we are going to the playoffs. Nice. I wonder since we at the right hand side of that sim standings, it was all Willie Mays's. So I guess we collectively won batting triple crown, but just not the same Willie Mays won every category. So these are the regular season standings. So I'm going to screenshot this. We still have to go, but I'm going to grab this before I forget. And then I also like to go in and grab the pitching stats and the batting stats. So here are our pitching stats, and let's take a look. Peterson went 10-7. Quintana went 13-3. Healthy Max Scherzer went 18. Kodai Senga went 15-6, and a healthy Justin Verlander went 19-6. Man, it's still telling that despite having four Willie Mazes, we could not manage a 20-game winner. But I guess that's the nature of modern baseball. You just not enough starters going enough innings to get enough decisions to get to 20 wins. Pretty tough. Um, but Scherzer and Verlander had legit good seasons. Whips 1.1 or lower. But again, I think it's the nature of a simulation game. Like they had good profiles, they couldn't get injured. They performed to their profile, which meant pitching pretty well. And with the run support they got from the Willie Mazes, pretty successful season. David Robertson, 35 saves. Kind of curious. I'm gonna open his. He won a Pitcher of the Month award. Okay. Just wondering how this compares to his real life stats. Real life stats 4-2, 14 saves, 2.05 ERA. I'm sure he's getting used very differently in this simulation because he to manage 35 saves. I would think he might be the running for reliever of the year, except he's got this inflated 4.08 ERA, which is not necessarily the most telling of statistics, but his WHIP is 1.17, so maybe he has a chance. Okay, um, let's go to the batting page, and I'm going to screenshot this. Yeah, the first thing I want to see is that 1955 Willie Mays that we rescued from the scrap heap. That one ended up hitting 321 with a 10.5 OPS and 58 home runs. Check out these home run totals 66, 57, 58, and 52. RBI totals 143, 149, 123, and 138. You got to remember this 1954 Willie Mays was batting leadoff and still managed 149 RBI from the leadoff spot. That might be the most impressive statistic I've seen in all of these sims. From the leadoff spot, 149 RBI. 340, which I always think of as the Hubie Brooks batting average for the Mets one year, 340. Every time I see that, I think Hubie Brooks. 340 average, 397 base percentage, 693 slugging for a 1091 OPS. Still did not lead the league. Lead the team. That honor went to the 1965 Willie Mays, who had an 1146 OPS. Hit 66 bombs. So, I mean, these Willie Mazes are clearly pre PED era, so that's a clean 66. to beat Roger Maris's record of 61 in this season. Like to see that. And these WAR numbers 11.6, 11.7, 10.2. And the 62 Willie Mays comes in with a 6.7. That's the one Willie Mays that was hitting under 300. So 274, 966 OPS. But also led the team in steals with 24. So really efficient base runners. 17 steals, 5 caught stealing, 24 steals, 4 caught stealing for the 1962 Willie Mays. All right. So very like a devastating top of the order, right? You have your first four batters. OPS is over 966. First four batters, all home runs over 50. All 120 plus RBI, all 130 plus runs scored. What a powerhouse lineup. All right. So I think I screenshotted this, but let me grab it just in case. And let's go to the playoffs. I usually like to do this from the playoff tree. Um, there we go. All right. So let's send the playoff round. It's going to be the Angels hosting the Astros and the Diamondbacks at the Phillies. And let's sim the next round. Okay, the Astros win their wild card game to advance to play the Tampa Bay Rays. And the Phillies won their wild card game to advance to play the Mets. So it'll be the first series will be against the Phillies. All right, let's sim the round. Woo. And we sweep the Phillies. The Dodgers had to go the distance against the Cubs, so hopefully that works in our favor from a fatigue perspective. Tampa Bay had to go all 5 games to beat the Astros, and the Twins beat the Mariners in 4. That's a little too bad. I was hoping to have like a Mets Mariners World Series. That would have been fun because those are my two teams. I grew up following the Mets, and then when I moved to the Pacific Northwest, I felt safe adding an AL team, and the Mariners and the Mets at the time at least were far from ever meeting in the World Series. I wasn't ever going to have to think about that, so I do follow the Mariners as well. And we're going to sim the next week of the next round. And we do avoid the upset. We win 4-1 to advance to the World Series. And the Twins win 4-3. All right. So I think let's go game by game here. We'll autoplay to the next game. All right. So game one is going to be at New York. The Twins with Bailey Ober against Justin Verlander for the Mets. I'm going to hide scores. Well, no, I'm not going to hide the scores. So I'm only going to, I'll tell you what, I will go highlight mode once we get to a clinching game. And we lose game one to the Twins 5-3. Players of the game. Well, we didn't have a player of the game, so that's part of it. I guess and we only had 3 hits, so none of the Maces could have done especially well with only having 3 hits. Now let's take a quick look at the box score. 2-hole hitter 1965 Willie Mays went 1 for 2 with, I'm assuming, a home run. Let's see, home runs Willie Mays 1965. Yeah, but that's the could not put much damage yet, so we lose 5-3. And we will go back to the scores and go to the next game. All right, the next game is the Mets at Minnesota. Kodai Senga against Pablo Lopez. And we lose again in 12 innings this time. Despite home runs from Gary Sanchez, Willie Mays 1965, and Willie Mays 1955. I must have missed a game in here because it says Minnesota leads the series 2-1. So where did I miss a game? Are you on a team schedule? Oh, I missed this win. We started the series by winning 11-0. And lead off Willie Mays, 1950. Oh, they switched the order for the playoffs. That's interesting. 54 Willie Mays, who was leading off all season, is now batting third. I wonder if that's got something to do with our poor start in the series. Well, I mean, after that 11-0 win, there were home runs by Alonso, Willie Mays, 1965, and that's it. Okay, so yeah, all right. Let's go back to scores. And okay, it's the Mets at the Twins. We're down 2 games to 1. And we win 7-0. Home runs by Lindor and Willie Mays, 1955. All right, so it's 2-2. And we have one more game before travel day. It's David Peterson at Sonny Gray. And we win 6-1. Okay, so the next game is a potential clinching game. So I'm going to hide the scores and we will watch the highlights of that one. Hide scores. Okay, so we are the home team up 3 games to 2. Bailey Ober against Max Scherzer. So we will quick play. Oh, oh, I didn't hit hide scores. So, well, we won the championship. All right. Congratulations. No, okay. All right. I did hit hide scores. What's the point of hiding scores if you're going to show me a pop up saying we won the championship? All right. Is there any point in watching the highlights? What time is it? It's a little past midnight. Okay, let's watch. I did hide the scores, and then you still showed me a pop up with the championship. Okay, here we are, top of the first. Bases loaded against us. Scherzer on the mound. Bases loaded, no outs. Lazy fly ball to left field. That's a Willie Mays throwing that ball. And my computer's twitching. Okay, so looks like they scored. Yeah, Castro's in safely. But they didn't. That was with no outs, so they did not score the rest of the inning, despite having runners on first and second after that play. All right, so Scherzer must have gotten out of the jam. This is Willie Mays, 1955, leading off the bottom of the first for the Mets. Oh, gone. That is in deep left center. The center fielder didn't even move. So Willie Mays ties it up. We jump ahead to the top of the first. That's the only damage we did in the first. First and second now for Joey Gallo. 2-2 count with no outs for Max Scherzer. Line drive to second base. Throw to second and double them off. Line drive double play. So that gets us out of that jam. Scherzer is grinding it. He's got runners on base every inning, and he's limited to 1 run so far. Let's hope he can keep that up. Well, let's hope he doesn't keep up the putting lots of runners on base, but let's keep up the stranding them part. Ground ball to second. Looks like he might turn two. Nice turn by Lindor. That gets him close to out of the jam. Runner on third now with 2 outs. And Julian lines it into center field, and it's going to drop for a base hit, scoring a runner. But that's all they get. So 2 runs in 3 innings so far. The Mets coming at the bat in the bottom of the third with 1 out. 1-0 count to Willie Mays, 1955, who has been leading off in the postseason. And that is a fly ball to right field. Does it have the distance? It does. Home run for 1955 Willie Mays. So we tied it back up at 2. The Twins are up again, top of the fourth. Runner on first for Donovan Solano. 2 outs, 2-1 count. And it's grounded past the second baseman in the center field. Willie Mays fields it and throws it in and does not get the runner in third. And the runner on first advances to second. First and second with 2 outs for Max Kepler, who launches the fly ball in the center field. That might have the distance, and it is gone. 3-run shot for the Twins. Ooh. Scherzer was living dangerously that whole time. At least two base runners on every inning, and then it came to bite him in the fourth inning. Okay, they continue to score. It is 8-2 going to the bottom of the sixth. 6-run deficit, 8-2 after they score one in the third, three in the fourth, one in the fifth, and then another two in the sixth. We got 1965 Willie Mays leading off with one out. And that's a deep fly ball in the right center field, and that is gone. So chipping away at the lead a little bit. 8-3 now, cut the lead to 5. And Jeff McNeil comes about with Francisco Lindor on first in the bottom of the eighth, bottom of the seventh now. And that's a line drive, get past the shortstop. First and second. Do not make that turn, Francisco Lindor. What are you doing? Come on. All right, first and second with no outs. A 2-2 count for Gary Sanchez. And then we have got a bunch of Willie Mazes coming up after this. And that's a ground ball to second. Scooped up and thrown to first. So one out, but the runners advance to second and third. We still have to get through Luis Guillorme. At least he can't ground a double play here. So the Mazes should get up to bat. Oh, I spoke too soon. He drives one into the gap for extra bases. Two runners are going to score, and he is rounding second but held there. So two RBI double for Guillorme. I apologize for my snide comment considering you came through in the clutch there. All right, here's what we came to see. Willie Mays 1955 with a runner on first. We've already cut the lead by 2 to 8-5. And a walk by Willie Mays, 1955. First and second for Willie Mays, 1965. There is no let up at the top of this order. They just keep coming. Cody Funderburk strikes out Willie Mays, 1965 looking. That's one of the only ways you can get out of this jam. Okay. Willie Mays, 1954 must have walked because the bases are now loaded with Willie Mays, 1962 at bat. We are still down by 3, so the tying run is at first base. 2 outs, 0-1 count, and that's driven into right field, and it's going to drop in the gap. Hits the wall. Right fielder's still chasing it. Just now picking up and throwing it in. This might be a triple for Willie Mays 1965, and it is safely at third. Base clearing triple. That's going to tie the game 8-8. And Pete Alonso's up with Willie Mays 1962 on base at third. 2-2 count. And that's a line drive to the shortstop. So inning's over, but the damage is done. The Mets tied up, and we're now heading into the top of the eighth, all knotted up. It's a brand new ball game. And Tommy Hunter, right-hander's in for the Mets in relief, and that's a base hit in the right field to start the eighth inning. And Ryan Jeffers is up to bat. Runner on first with one out. Ground ball to short. Can they turn it? They do. This, at least in the replays we've watched, this Lindor Guillorme pairing it middle infield has been turning double plays. Oh, actually, there's Jeff McNeil playing second base on that one. He is not a great fielder, so that's impressive and surprising. Okay, top of the eighth now with one out. Oh, sorry, no, that was one out. We ended the inning with a double play. So bottom of the eighth now, with one out, it's Jeff McNeil at bat. You make the play, you get to bat. And he hits a fly ball into deep right center field, and it is gone for the lead. 9-8 in the bottom of the eighth. Jeff McNeil coming through in the clutch. That ends that inning, though, or the inning ends there. So top of the eighth, top of the ninth, no outs. We can close it out right here. David Robertson facing Jorge Polanco. And it's a fly ball to center field. Willie Mays is on his horse, and he gets it. 1954, Willie Mays with a nice catch in the center field, making it look easy. That's one out and a 2-2 count for Michael A. Taylor. Ground ball to third base. Picked up and thrown for the out. Okay, we're one out away from a World Series championship here. David Robertson against Joey Gallo. 2 out, 1-2 count. And he goes down swinging, and the Mets win the World Series. The Mets win the World Series with four Willie Mays. All it takes for the Mets to win the World Series is to bring in four versions of an all-time MVP Hall of Fame player, Willie Mays. Just bring in four Willie Mayses, and the Mets can win the World Series. That's fun. That was fun. And what a great way to celebrate the life and career of Willie Mays to just put four of them in this game and watch him go to town. Willie Mays, 1955, two home runs that game. And look at this. Willie Mays, 1955, hit a home run. That's the 10th of the postseason. Willie Mays, 1955, hits two, ninth of the postseason. Doing damage when it counts. All right, so what I always like to do now is go back to the playoff tree page, and we won, but we have to finish the day to see the trophy. There it is. The New York Mets win the World Series. Man, that was fun watching Willie Mays play on the Mets for Willie Mays. Right. Let's well, we saw the postseason the season stats, so that's not gonna change. Um I think we do postseason awards and then we'll call it a stream and then look for someone to rate into. So if anyone's watching, either live or on the VOD, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. It was real fun putting the roster together and seeing what the AI did, fixing what the AI did, and then watching them play some games. All right. Let's go to the mailbox and clean it out so that we can make room and make it easier to spot these new messages we're looking for. So if we go ahead and sim to the let me save this right here. So postseason's over and the season is over, but it hasn't done the postseason processing yet. So I'm gonna just save it right here. I probably will want to save it again after the season and stuff, but just in case something happens there, I don't want to lose the season. I also am looking forward to seeing what our game score is. So we'll sim the Great Glove Awards, but it will interrupt us for the end of the season, I think, with our achievements. Or no, maybe it won't. It's closing out the season of the system, and then we'll check out the awards. All right, let's see here. What do we have? Game score of 1252. That is one of the higher game scores we've had. The only ones that have been higher are when the entire roster has been like amazing peak seasons. So the all rookie team had, I think, like a score in the 1500s, and the father son team, I think, had a score also maybe in the 1600s. So for uh, for a sim with much fewer changes, bringing in four players, this is, I think, the highest score of that kind. We did previously what I call Force 4 trades with the 1997 Mariners team that had A Rod and Ken Griffey Jr. and Edgar Martinez. And we forced four different trades to add pitching to that team. And I think that game score was lower than this one. But both teams won the World Series. Oh, I hope I got it. Yeah, I think I got a screenshot of that score. 12. If I didn't, it was 1262. Bear with me for a second. I'm going to check my screenshot screen. I'm not going to put it on chat here, but okay, good. I did get it. I did get it. All right, so we'll go to our inbox. Okay, and now we'll sim ahead to Great Glove Awards. And Willie Mays in left field wins one. Like, but I guess that's it. And that's interesting because that. Oh, you know what we should check. That's that. The if the Willie Mays is playing in left field is one that we started them off with a 100 experience rating in left field. It was 1955, I think. So over the course of the season, he would have played more games. If we go back in editor, uh, this one was playing right field. His experience went from 100 to 184 during the course of the season, and his right field rating went up to 215. So it's interesting. Even a full major league season didn't get them from 100 to 200. Um, man, it takes a lot to get them fully trained, I guess. Okay. Um, so let me grab this email and paste it into my record keeping file. And we will go on to the next award, which is the reliever of the year. And Evan Phillips wins it, 27 first place votes. We do not have everyone on that list. Oh, yeah, our closer had a high ERA despite having lots of saves. So that probably explains why we were not in the running for that. David Robertson, just to have an ERA, I guess. But was effective, logged a lot of saves. Or you can say that might be the sign that save is a bogus stat. Just like I think people are starting to finally figure out that wins is not a great pitcher stat. Um, but anyway, I grabbed that screenshot. And so let's go to Platinum Stick Awards. We should win a few of these. Oh, Lindor won one too. It's not just Willie Mays in this one. Let's see. Contreras, Freeman, Betts, Riley. Okay, here's Lindor. And then left field Willie Mays, center field Willie Mays, right field Willie Mays, and DH Willie Mays. Clean sweep by the Willie Mayses for the Platinum Stick Awards. Not a surprise considering they each hit over 50 home runs, but nice to have it acknowledged. Okay, this is turning out to be a great way to celebrate Willie Mays. He's doing great in this simulation. Uh, and it makes me feel a little bit better about it too. Okay, let's see. We'll go on to the next award, which is Rookie of the Year. I don't think we have anyone in the running for this one, but no, we do. Kodai Senga, 3 first place votes, 96 total, came in second. Nice job. Nice work. I mean, it helps if you have 4 players contributing over 200 home runs, but let's see how we did. 15 and 6, 3.34 ERA, 122 WHIP, over 200 strikeouts, 125 ERA plus, 2.8 WAR. It's a good season. No wonder he came in second Rookie of the Year. Matt McLean won it though. He hit 27 home runs, 96 RBI, and a 267 batting average. I don't really like that we lost out to that, but yeah, I guess AI's gonna AI. It likes what it likes. Okay, let me make sure I pasted that in. I did. Okay. So, Manager of the Year. Oh, thank you, thank you. I won the Manager of the Year again. Let's see what I had to say. This time around, I said, well, first of all, it appears that I prefer everyone call me Cap or Skip. You can not do that in the chat, please, going forward in other streams or here. It's really unfair to the guys that busted their humps all year to put all the focus on me now. Oh, I'm so humble. Oh, they showed up early, put in extra time in the cage, worked on their fielding, consulted with their coaching staff, and really made 2023 a highlight in my career. Nah, that's probably true, especially um, hanging out with Willie Mays, watching him in the batting cage, watching him warm up. It's got to be pretty fun. Best job a manager could have, coaching 4 Willie Mayses. Okay. The next award will We're now to the big ones. Cy Young Award. And that's won by Justin Steele of the Cubs. Sweeps the first place votes. And Max Scherzer got 1 point. Some beat reporter from New York put in the last place vote. Well, not last place, but whatever, 15 places does it have? Something like that. Yeah, one point. 1 point. Justin Steele went 22-5 with a 2.42 ERA. All right, so let me grab this. Our one paltry vote. I want to make sure we save a record of that for posterity. And our last award, the MVP award. And again, we have made pitchers ineligible win this, so it'll really give us a sense of what the AI thought of the batters. Oh, MVP is announced. Ooh. Oops. Willie Mays took Major League Baseball a storm this year and did it all at the age of 23. To be considered amongst the best in the league is overwhelming, said the center fielder. The native of Westfield, Massachusetts, also added to a 340 average to go with 397 on base finish. The native of Westfield, Massachusetts, also added 43 doubles, 4 triples, 57 home runs, 149 RBIs, and 132 runs scored. And that's the 54 is the one who was leading off games until the playoffs. So that is an extra impressive stat line considering the first at bat of every game he was coming to bat with no one on base to drive in. All right. Now can we get to wait, what happened to MVP voting? Oh, that was MVP voting. Yeah, right. Okay. Duh. Oh, what was I thinking then? I don't know. I'm confused. Okay, that's it. I think did I copy and paste that? Yep. Okay. So okay, now I'm gonna save the season again. Part of the reason I save these every once in a while I need to go back and look at something like how did we do something or what was um, going on with this player or that player. So it's helpful to have these saved up. One thing I want to look at is for another sim I'm planning. An amphetamine overdose. Can you help me out? I cannot find the coach chemistry tab. Oh, you found it. Okay. Actually, chemistry is new to me too, so I know where all the personnel stuff is. But I would not know where the coach chemistry stuff is. But since you found it, but now I'm going to look for it. I would assume it's under front office personnel. Uh, no. Hmm. Well, then maybe you can help me on amphetamine overdose. Where did you find it? Coaching. Because this is the first year I've played an OOTP that has chemistry in it, so I don't know where that stuff is. Hmm. Now I'm curious. Also, is chemistry in the base game? I think they said it would be in it. I don't know where we go to see our chemistry. Let's see. Front office. Yeah, so front office, personnel. Oh, I didn't realize we have no personnel. Usually you inherit the personnel of the organization. Huh. So when you say staff roles, is it this tab? I don't have anyone in here. Maybe that's why I don't have a person. I don't have a chemistry. I'm used to seeing in previous versions where it has like every level of the organization and it has like their their manager, their hitting coach, their pitching coach. I'm not seeing that there. It might be in the way I set up the sim, I guess. Yeah, I feel like usually I go front office personnel. This is a very different view than I'm used to seeing. Hmm. Anyway, the thing I wanted to see was because this is related to another sim I'm preparing for. Um, the busts. I'm going to do a sim where we take our favorite busts and I'm going to set their current ratings to match their potential ratings. So basically, it's like they're instantly matching the potential that was expected of them. What I want to see is within editor, do all these Willie Maces have the same potential ratings, or do their potential ratings change over time? So I'm going to be looking here at this column here. This is potential, and we'll see does that change over time. Okay, so the 65 one is let's just look at BABIP and Voike 432, 387, 432, 443. So it does change a little bit. 432, 387. Okay, so I guess what I'm gonna have to do in this other sim, I'm thinking is I have to find probably the earliest year I can will probably have the highest potential because it's before they've disproven that they have the potential. And so what I want to do is find the highest potential late in season and then copy all these potential numbers into the actual numbers here. And I'll have to estimate the splits. I could probably set up a simple Excel spreadsheet to do that. But so amphetamine overdose, I think the way I have my um, settings, I can't see what you just typed. So if it's some word that can be interpreted by my AI gatekeepers as being a bad word or something, like it censored you for some reason. Okay, so I think that's it. We're gonna end this sim in celebration of Willie Mays's career and life, and I think we did a good job. It was super fun. He had a chance to shine in the sim, um, and I think as he did his entire career, he made baseball fans happy by watching him play. How long will be the stream? I'm about to end it, but were you gonna tell me about the front office stuff? You can also message me in in my Discord, or I was also gonna look it up too because now that you sparked my interest in this, I just want to find out in general too about chemistry in the base game. I had remembered hearing when it came out in Perfect Team that it was also going to be in the base game, but I guess because the way I usually sim, I am bringing people together from all kinds of different teams, so they might have poor chemistry compared to like some of the teams we're playing because the teams we're playing they're all in the same organization and team. So I'm assuming they have good chemistry, especially meaning the way OTP calculates it this year. But yeah, I'm curious to see what you found. So if you can message me in the Discord, or I can hang out a few minutes if you want to put it in the chat. But I always feel like Discord's easier to send messages in. You can edit yourself, and in fact, in case you're not in it, let me find a link for you to my Discord if you're interested in joining. Here is a URL for the Discord, so you can find me there and then message me. Um, I think it's a little easier to send messages there than in chat. So, but yeah, I'm very curious to hear what you learned about coaching chemistry in the base game. All right, I'm going to find someone to raid into. Hopefully, someone is still I would much prefer to stream into someone streaming OOTP than some other random. Uh, oh, looks like Cheeky is still online, so let's try to rate it. And if I mean over this, I don't know how much of the stream you caught, but I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know if you're a big Willie Mays fan or not, but I was trying to celebrate the man and the player, and I hope we were able to do that. Oh, you sent the screenshot on Discord. Thank you so much. I will check it out for sure. I appreciate that very much. And thank you for teaching me something. I appreciate it. For the coaches, yeah, for coaches chemistry, I'm going to check that out. I'm excited to see what you found. All right, I'm going to rate us into cheeky. All right, raid's been created, and let's go check out see what Cheeky's doing in OTP. He does a lot of perfect team stuff, and see if that's what he's working on tonight. All right, thanks again for joining us on Franchise Time Machine. See you next time.